Hello everyone, Yianni here from frescopod, and in today's video I want to talk about the single serve brewer, or as many of you guys know it, the Keurig. And in particular I want to talk about a certain complementary product to the Keurig, which is the reusable pod. If you own a Keurig or have used a Keurig, you've probably seen these reusable pods before. Just little filter baskets that are reusable that you can fill up with ground coffee to use in your Keurig. And pretty much the benefit is not having to buy the single-use pods. So today I thought it would be helpful to go over the advantages and the disadvantages. So if you're thinking about getting them, you could see what's good about them, what's bad about them, and if you've used them before, I'm sure you can relate. So make sure to stay tuned. If you own a Keurig, I will see you in a minute. So starting with the advantages, there are several clear advantages to using a reusable pod versus a single-use plastic pod. So the number one advantage is going to be the plastic waste. When you use these pods, every time you make a cup of coffee, one of these is getting wasted. And this, even though the companies that make this claim that they're recyclable, yeah, the plastic is recyclable, but chances are it's not getting recycled. Less than 10% of what gets thrown in the recycling in the United States actually gets recycled. And because these are so tiny, they're really, really hard to sort out. So chances are it's not getting recycled. So if you're using these and just recycling them and thinking that you're doing good, I'm sorry, but you're really not. So a big advantage to using this is the fact that your single-use plastic waste is going to be significantly reduced. Something that goes along with that is when you're using these reusable pods, you don't have to buy these anymore. So you're gonna be saving a lot of money, because instead of buying a 50 pack of these for $23 to $25 to $30, you're able to buy a pound of ground coffee for like anywhere from $5 to $10 and use it in these pods. So you're gonna be saving, depending on how much coffee you drink, you're gonna be saving anywhere from like 20 to like some households will save actually like $100 a month by not having to buy these pods anymore. So those are the two big advantages. Finally, the third advantage is gonna be that you can choose any coffee the world has to offer to make in this pod. Because you're using ground coffee and putting it in here, you could really choose any bean variety and use it in this. Whereas with these pre-made pods, you are limited to what the manufacturer makes. So you have way more variety when using these. So those are the main advantages of using these reusable pods. To recap, it is save money, save plastic, and have more variety. However, these advantages come with several disadvantages. And by far, the biggest disadvantage of using these reusable pods has to be the fact that when you're done using them, you need to clean them out. So the whole thing with the Keurig and the single-serve brewers, the main reason that people use these machines is for the convenience. People want their coffee quick and they don't want to bother with cleanup. What I've noticed in my own household, and what I've noticed talking to people who use the Keurig, who've used these reusable pods, is that they bought maybe a 6-pack on Amazon or online or whatever, and they used them for a little bit, but they stopped using them because they didn't want to deal with cleaning them. So as you could see over here, the ground coffee stays inside, and this was actually left over from the last person who made it, God knows when. What you need to do is you need to open the pod and then empty these grounds, which really is inconvenient, especially when they're hot, wet, and they pretty much just stick to the sides and they're really hard to clean. So usually what people do is they stop using them because of the inconvenience. So that is the number one downfall of these, is that even though it gives the user the advantage of saving money and saving plastic, it sacrifices their convenience, and ultimately the single serve brewer user is really seeking convenience and ease. So Unfortunately, many people go back to using the regular K-Cups. If you look at the statistics, since these reusable pods have been introduced, the sales of single-use pods have only gone up. So if it really was an effective alternative, sales of single-use pods would have gone down. They've actually gone up. So I don't believe that this is really an effective alternative for most people. For some people, it's a good alternative because they don't mind the extra work, but for most people, unfortunately, this isn't gonna be the best alternative. Another disadvantage of these pods is that they get really dirty. So because the filter is reusable and it is such a small space, you could see over here that debris just collects, this coffee debris collects on the inside. And because it's really tiny, it's hard for people to get in there with a sponge and soap and properly clean it. So it does get really dirty with time of owning these. They do get dirty and they do need to be changed. Going along with that, these break pretty often. They are pretty cheaply made, plastic. And if you look over here, like this one, for instance, it actually broke. So the top broke off. So the thing with these, because they're tiny, because they're kind of pretty cheaply made and they're plastic, they do break, they do get lost, they get dirty, and they don't really last that long. Finally, the last disadvantage that I could think of is the fact that these are still plastic. So when the user is brewing a cup of coffee in these, the coffee is still passing through a lot of plastic and making contact with a lot of plastic, which I'm somebody who wouldn't want that in my coffee, and I'm sure many people wouldn't want that in their coffee. Unfortunately, with these, along with the regular pods, the fact that hot water is making contact with the plastic and then going directly into your cup doesn't seem like the best thing to me. Please leave a comment below and let me know if you've ever run into this problem, or if you tried these reusable pods and you went back to the single-use pods, or if you tried them and you love them. Please let me know, I'm really curious. That's gonna be it for today's video. I really want to thank you guys for watching. Once again, my name's Yianni from frescopod, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Take care.